Oh, we're live. Okay. See some folks come out. We have 3 viewers, which is cool. We'll just wait for a few more people to join. Give it a moment. DJ Cash Money. I like that. Hi. DJ Cash Money. Cool. Right, we'll just wait for a few more folks to join. It's we have 8 people, and we find that well, a lot of people watch the recorded video because they can't make the time. So I'll just give it 30 more seconds, and then I'll dive in. Okay, great. Okay. We got 10 people in. Right. 2 minutes is up, so let's go. Hi. So hi everyone. My name's Ray Hennessey, and before we get into the questions, let me tell you a little bit about myself. You know, you can look me up on LinkedIn, no problem, and you'll see the pedigree of where I've worked and all the rest of it. I've been in Asia altogether about 15 years now. I worked in Tokyo, Japan, 95 to 2000, and that's where I met Mario, Ken, and Seth. And I mean, a lot of people say, you know, a team is a bunch of people that kind of work together. Well, I think it's true to say that a team is a bunch of people who trust each other. And, you know, joining this team was very, very easy because I already knew and trusted the people that I'd met all those years ago. They, in turn, already trusted the people who were here. So it was very, very easy to slide straight in and start working. My entire career has been spent in investment banking, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I really only got into cryptos at a very late stage. I had a look under the covers when I first got here at the platform, and believe me, it's very, very good. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have joined the team. They've got a great idea, they've got a great platform, and they have a great vision. And actually, I can't wait to get involved after the ICO and help to build this new cash blockchain. It's going to be really special. So that's pretty much me. As I say, you know, you can check out the pedigree on LinkedIn. It's fine. One thing also we need to mention, other than the senior management team, is the actual guys who are doing the work. I'm sitting here in Ho Chi Minh, in Vietnam. It's my 3rd time to work with a Vietnamese team. Hi, Catherine. I'm being bombed. 3rd time to work with a Vietnamese team, and you know, these guys are special. They really are. We have 4 offices, as you know: Singapore, Philippines, which is really new, Vietnam here, Ho Chi Minh City, and of course headquarters in Tokyo. We do have some technology being developed in Tokyo, but the majority of the technology is being worked on here. And I'm sure, you know, as the team grows, You know, we'll do a lot more. And as Mike mentioned, we want to double the size of the team. He says this year, and I wish we could, and we'll try to, but the year's almost over. But you know, we will double the team as soon as we possibly can, right? And if anybody out there, you know, thinks they can contribute and would like to contribute to cash, then get in touch. You know, we're always looking for talented people to join the team, and you can send me a LinkedIn message or get to me directly or whatever. Okay, so some of the questions that I have here, addressing these questions, most of them actually naturally fall out of the AMA that Mike did last night. And the first one I get here is, a few high-profile Japanese businessmen have committed an amount to the ICO. Will it be from the crowd sale pool of the strategic or the strategic investor pool? It's from the crowd sale pool, definitely. As you said, as Mike said last night, you know, we've taken the 500 million cash, we've halved it, and the 250 we're going to use for the crowd sale, and the other 250 will be dispensed over a period of time to other investors. So yes, it will be from the crowd sale. Are they getting a discount? And if yes, do they have a vesting period? Well, all of these folks who have invested, including employees, yes, they have a 1-year vesting period. So, you know, we believe in this thing. Mike has locked up a substantial amount of his own money in this thing, which is great. That shows commitment. I will also, as soon as I get time to do it, put some of my own money in. And a lot of the guys here believe in this thing so much that, you know, they want to invest, they want to see it grow, and obviously you can all help by buying some cash. So yes. Number two, the strategic investor, you will give a little discount versus market price. Will they have a vesting period or not? That's a good question, and it's still up to debate. We'd obviously like people who, you know, to invest long term, for sure. And but have we decided yet that there will be a specific vesting period? We haven't done that yet, but we are thinking about it. Yeah, because obviously we don't want people to come in, buy these tokens at a great discount, and then dump them, you know, as soon as they list, because that hurts everybody. I think the business model that we've got here, the working platform, you know, the solid team, and the vision for the blockchain, it will be everything, you know. So we want people to hold this stuff long term and realize, you know, value after a period of time, not after a week. Let's see. I believe being listed simultaneously on 5 to 10 big exchanges on December 1 could be your biggest and brightest marketing coup and drive a lot of interest on the cash token and hence on the QUOINE platform. Maybe a unique opportunity to make a big noise in your partners, but also your competitor space. Well, yeah, I think it will. I think, you know, the whole premise of what we're trying to do is build liquidity, and you know, listing this thing as soon as we possibly can after the ICO is completed is something we definitely want to do. But we have to be careful. We have to be cognizant of what's going on in the market and cognizant of SegWit 2x, which could be very impactful. And we're watching that space very, very carefully. But you're absolutely right. Yes. You know, I think being listed on these big exchanges would be a great thing. And we're talking to lots of people right now. Number 4, will Taizo-san be categorized to a new 25% category for long-time partner? As I said, you know, he's invested in the firm, so he believes in what we're doing, and I can't imagine him to want to, you know, invest a large sum and then, you know, take it out immediately. He supports us so much and believes in the vision so much that I'm sure he's in it for a long time. So he won't be categorized into whatever's left over of the 250. He's already taken a piece of what's there. Let's see. Mike said these partners get a bit of discount from the market price. It's about 10 to 20%, let's say. If the price in the market is 1,000 cash equals 1.2 ether, do they pay 1.2 ether times 0.8 to 0.9 price for 1,000 cash? We haven't decided yet. What we can tell you is that any discount they get, won't be larger than the discount that's been given to the public sale. And it won't be larger than the discount we gave to investors, friends, and family. And Mike went through that last night. So we don't know. But when Mike said a little bit of discount, I think that's what he meant. And also, we'll be trading these things, via the market anyway. So here's an important one. And all of these questions, by the way, were taken from the Telegram channel earlier today. If many investors want cash in a pre-sale period of 3 days, and when it's on day 3, if it reaches the maximum supply and say we sell 300 million cash, even though we've only got 250 million to sell, and somebody buys 0.1 million on the first day, will I get everything I bought because I bought first, just first come first, or will it still be delivered after it's being prorated? I think Mike was very clear last night, and he said that it would be prorated. He wants everybody to share in the cash token dream, and so yes, if we oversell, then it will be prorated, so everyone gets a share. It will not be purely first come first served. And we think that the value proposition of this thing is so great, and the idea behind it is so solid and strong that we're not worried about people not investing and not buying cash. We think it's natural. We think we're one of the strongest ICOs out there. We've got one of the strongest teams and ideas. We've looked at other folks in the space who are doing ICOs right now, and frankly, a lot of them have got some really great ideas with some good people, but the chances of them doing great things are minimally exceptional, I think, because they're starting from ground zero. We've already got regulation. We've already got a couple of really cool platforms. We've already got the engines built, and that's the foundation that we're building things on. And I think that is a big advantage over everybody else. Okay, when did a partner start buying 20% of the cash? And they buy in exchange, or they buy outside the exchange? Well, I think we just went through that. We haven't really decided. It'll be sometime after the ICO, and as Mike said last night, it could take a week, it could take months, it could take years, who knows? And we'll be very selective about who we sell to, what institutions we sell to, and additionally, we're also talking to big companies all over the world who are interested in what we're doing, and who are also potentially interested in partnering with us to deliver the vision. Let's see. AMA, there's a comparison of cash to being a country being about to issue its own fiat. Does that mean in the future there's a possibility of more cash being issued beyond what's stated in the white paper? No, is the answer to that. 1 billion cash is being forged, if you like, and that's it. It's 1 billion. It'll never increase beyond that. That's in the white paper. That's stated, and that's solid. And I think a couple of other people on AMAs prior to this have already answered that question. But again, it keeps coming up. People obviously want assurances, and there's the assurance. No, we won't be inventing any more cash, I don't think. All right. Since cash will be used for many services envisioned by the team, would the amount of cash needed to, say, pay for trading fees be pegged to fiat, or at least subjected to review? What if cash goes up significantly? which is good for holders, but does that mean the transaction fees are also much higher? Well, not really, no. I mean, actually, I think if the cash token goes up appreciably, then with the 5% discount baked in to all payments, I think it'll actually be cheaper. So I don't think we're gonna, as cash goes up in price, that we raise transaction fees in order to match or anything like that. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. So we'll also trade day one on COINEX. Right now, the FSA website is not showing anything except yes, when we list on cryptos, we'll list on COINEX at the same time. When will that be? The target is December 1, I think, as Mike stated yesterday. But also, we have to be cognizant again of these things that are going to happen in the middle of the month. So we're going to be very careful. We have a target to aim at, which is great, and we'll do our best to hit that. But there may be a delay based on some things that happen over the next 4 weeks. Who knows? I mean, look at what's happened today and yesterday. With the price of Bitcoin and with the other alts, losing a comparable percentage almost across the board. Obviously, we're not going to wait until what prices are in our favor or anything, but we just have to make sure that nothing untoward happens in the middle of the month when SegWit happens, and we basically have 4 Bitcoin currencies. We're getting to the end of this now, so I heard that the Tokyo FinTech meetup, that was the December 1. So yeah, okay, we're good. So they were all the questions that we had from AMA on the Telegram channel. Let's go here to if there are any additional questions. Mike said that Coin has a plan to establish altcoin cash pairs. What is the timeline for the strategy? And will other partner exchanges condition to have these pairs to be part of Worldbook and the Liquid platform? Things are pretty fluid right now on the Liquid platform, and that's what they are. And obviously, we're talking to a lot of different people. I don't think it's in our interest to not have these pairs on other exchanges. And you've seen a few recent announcements about the partners that and the exchanges that we're partnering with. That will continue, and interest is high in what we're doing. People want to be part of this thing. They want to join this ecosystem. They can see the value in what we're trying to do with regard to addressing the whole liquidity issue. And so I'd imagine, yes, but do we have a plan that says on this date this will happen? Not right now. I'm a lifelong project manager. I love a plan, and I think it's something that we have to document. Up to now, we've been working very, very hard on the ICO. As soon as we get a little, decrease in pressure, then yeah, we'll address all of this stuff. And as Mike said yesterday, we will be as communicative as we possibly can be, because without the community, we don't have much. We've just got a working system, and that's it. You guys are the ones that we need to keep on our side, and we need to satisfy your demands. So we'll come up with that plan and we'll communicate it as soon as we possibly got it. And believe me, we will have a very detailed plan. Right, let's see. Can you speak a little to the other exchanges you're targeting for Liquid? Well, not really. It's we don't want to announce. I wouldn't want to talk about exchanges that we're just about talking to right now, because we don't have anything signed, sealed, and delivered. I mean, as soon as we do, marketing department, Catherine, Tammy, and the team, push stuff out the same day, pretty much. And so that's what we'll continue to do. Is that true?
Yep.
It's true. Okay, I got the answer right. Good. Let's see. Michael, hey, man, I know what is the reason to ban Chinese citizens buying cash? I think you should ask the Chinese government, because the Chinese government in September shut down exchanges and banned ICO participation for all Chinese nationals, which came as a bit of a surprise to us. Obviously, we were expecting, one of the world's largest countries to be participating in this. Unfortunately, they can't. They can't participate in the ICO, that's for sure. Doesn't mean that after the ICO is done and things are listed that people can't participate, but it's a regulatory issue. We are very regulatory friendly. As Mike said yesterday, there's a dark side and there's a light side, and we are the Jedi. We like to do everything by the book, and that's the way we're going to live. And so, if the government says no, you can't do it, well, we have to respect that, and we will, and we are. Let's see. Lots of users ask if cash would be available on CoinEx, whether they'll be able to trade cash for fiat or not. Well, as I say earlier, and I checked this with Mario a few days ago, because I had the same question. As soon as we list cash on cryptos, will we list it on CoinEx at the same time? And the answer is yes. So if it's listed, then it naturally follows that you can do things with it. Will cash sale be affected by the incoming fork? Well, it already has been. We planned on doing this ICO for a month, and we put it down to 3 days. We planned on issuing, as you know, 500 million cash tokens, and we've cut that down to 250 because we don't want to be impacted with any bad news that results from the upcoming SegWit 2x. It's anything can happen, if you read the news on this thing, it's very contentious, and people are worried about it, as we are. So what we wanted to do is we listened to advice. A lot of people said, "Why 150 million? Why now? Are you really gonna use all of that and raise it all at the same time? And it's never going to happen. Why don't you do it in steps?" Well, look what's happened. We are. We've halved the offering, and we're raising half. We're still going to be putting half the money into other exchanges to create that liquidity pool. And when we sell the rest, and we will, again, we will have achieved our overall target of 150, and we'll be able to do exactly what we want to do according to the white paper. And that is, carry on with our regulatory journey wherever we need to go, and whoever we need to be regulated by and with. We need to build our operations. We need to work on new products, in particular the blockchain. So I think everything's positive. Just because we're raising half doesn't mean everything stops. Not by any means. We continue to forge ahead. Cash will trade against USD, JPY, Ether, and BTC. It's gonna. Well, we talked about this, right? It's an ERC20 token initially. And we've been writing a blockchain thesis and a use case document that's almost ready. Mr. Pope on our Telegram channel has been asking about this, and he has great questions, believe me. And some of the questions have actually, spurred us into thinking not differently, but into thinking sooner than we would have thought about this stuff. All over the past 2 days, we've been working on this document. We've been going crazy recently, busy with system enhancements and changes and all sorts of fun things. A lot of stuff is going on. I know the ICO is coming up. I've sent the document around to everybody. Catherine has a copy of this thing, and we're really just waiting for a final sign-off. It's a high-level document. We haven't thought it all the way through. The blockchain itself deserves its own white paper, and we will, spec this thing out to the nth degree. and also, you know, rely on feedback from everybody, including yourselves, because we want to get this thing right. It's a mini thesis. It's really a high-level introduction. This in itself will generate more questions, and that's great, you know, because the more people who ask about this thing, the deeper we think about it, the more confident we are in what we're doing. And up to now, you know, we haven't really seen any pitfalls. We're thinking about all of the fun things that that people already think about, the blockchain, the original blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, and we want ours to be a next generation blockchain for sure. And let's see. Well, cash trade also in other exchanges such as Bitfly. Well, if we partner with these guys, then sure. I mean, it's the way it is, right? We won't just be trading in cryptos and CoinEx. We'll be all over. We're creating this world book, and it's, you know, it's comprehensive and it's inclusive for everybody that we've joined. As Mike said last night, you know, we've got 15 exchanges. We don't necessarily want to tell you the names of all of them right now. We've got a lot of people lined up as well. We're in final stages with some others, but you know, rest assured that you know, we're looking at this thing properly. You know, the famous saying is, you know, you can't break sticks if they're in a bundle. You know, the more strategic partnerships that we've got, and it is more bench strength for us, really. And obviously, we're very particular about who we partner with. Again, the AML KYC angle is very important. The regulatory angle is very important, and so, you know, we're being very, very careful about who we partner with, and people are being careful about you know, looking at us as well. They want to make sure that we're real, and believe me, I've looked and we are, definitely. Let's see. It is certain we will list on Bitfinex. Yes, right, got it. Yes, we will. Bitfinex and Binance we've already announced, so yes, we totally will. Anything else? Would you mind to share the coin plan in handling huge traffic to the platform from an infrastructure point of view due to this ICO? Right, that's a very good question. We have our platform hosted in the cloud, and we have our engines that are finely tuned and are very, very performant, and we don't really have any doubt that the system won't be able to handle the traffic. With any good system, you do functional testing. You make sure that, you know, what you've designed actually does what you want it to do. And you also do non-functional testing. And that non-functional testing includes things like soak tests and performance tests. And these systems have been up and running for, at least CoinEx has, you know, Cryptos is new. But these systems, CoinEx has been up for 2.5 years, and it's been changed multiple times, and it's been regression tested multiple times. And am I saying it's absolutely perfect? No, no software is. Look at Microsoft Word. They still come out with bug fixes, you know, once a month, and they've been doing that forever, at least since the 80s when it was invented. Right? I remember when Microsoft Word was pitched by Bill Gates in, I think, 1987 or 8 at Goldman Sachs in New York. Very interesting. Everyone then used WordPerfect. You probably never heard of that, but look it up. It's software, and you know, it's by definition it's buggy. But we're ironing out the bugs, and we're doing everything we possibly can to bulletproof this thing to make sure that it works. And we can't afford to have it go down. You know, we had a little glitch today with the service provider, which was, you know, fixed very soon. And immediately afterwards, you know, I mentioned this to some of the guys here. We already have plans for fully redundant systems in the cloud. and we'll be implementing that in very, very short order. So to the ICO, I don't think it's going to be an issue. We'll be able to satisfy things. It's not like we're trading complex derivatives here. We're having people who are going to log in and say, I want to buy some cash, done. That's it. And we deduct it from an overall amount and we send a confirmation and we're done. It's a very simple flow, and we think we can handle whatever volume comes in. Hope that answers your question. Let's see. What is the benefit of cash having its own blockchain? Oh, well, we were, as I said, I've been working on the write-up for this with other people. It's not just me who's working on it, the whole team has worked on this. Cash will have its own blockchain because the current blockchain technology that's out there won't be able to support all of the things that we want to do. In other words, Ethereum, you can program it, but you can't program it. It's a big learning curve. It doesn't support all of the programming languages that we'd like it to, like things like Erlang for payments, C++, Ruby, all of that stuff, Go. We would like all of that to be supported. We're also very cognizant about the scalability of the platform and the blockchain, and I think we've come up with some interesting angles on that. But you'll have to wait until the blockchain white paper comes out for that one. And I think, as I say, I'm really looking forward to getting involved with our partner ULS over in Japan, and obviously with Mario and the technology team here to thrash this out. But basically, we'll be able to support a lot more stuff on the Cash blockchain than can currently be supported on the Ethereum blockchain. It'll take a while to get it built, and I think Liquid platform, it comes into existence 2018. We don't have a lot of time, but as I say, the fundamental framework and foundation is there, has been built. So we're off to a flying start, and I think the actual Cash blockchain will hit the streets and be ready for prime time in the year after. Yeah, so early 2019. According to the roadmap. That's the plan, anyway. Mike, I think I answered this question actually earlier on, Wayne. Mike said, simple comparison to cash being a country about to issue its own fiat. Is there a possibility of more cash? Well, that kind of breaks the rules if you think about the whole premise of blockchain and Bitcoin. Right, Bitcoin was born in 2008, 2009 after the last financial crisis, which I suffered with as well. I was at UBS at the time in Hong Kong, and it impacted everybody. A lot of people lost their jobs, and eventually so did I. Yeah. It was horrible, and so for Coin to then take this sort of immutable premise of here's the maximum number of coins that we're going to mint, if you like, and then make the same mistakes that a lot of governments make by saying, yeah, we'll just print more money. It does debase the coinage, I think, and we're not going to do that. So no more cash other than what's issued in the white paper will be minted, if you like. Another one from Wayne, a very few high-profile businessmen. Will it be from the crowd sale? Again, I answered that earlier on. I think you probably missed the first 10 minutes, but yes, it will be from the crowd sale pool. Okay. Did I miss anything else? No. Okay. While we're waiting for a few questions to come in, and it's 8:30, but I'm in no rush. Maybe we can talk a little bit about the use cases that we have for cash, and a little bit about the blockchain. Obviously the use case, cash is going to be used as an ERC20 crypto token, and you'll be able to pay for services. and it's going to be obviously tradable on the open market, right? We think as liquid platform grows and cash being the preferred token within that platform is being used and spent, it will become one of the top 3 cryptocurrencies. That's out there, right? That may depend a lot on the new blockchain as well, because obviously we can offer enhanced and new services. But for now, I think yeah, it will evolve. Let's put it that way. It starts out as a token, and it naturally evolves into its own fully fledged cryptocurrency, which is magnificent. We can use it for transaction fees. We're going to be able to use it for things like prime brokerage, DMA, direct market access, crypto fiat credits, automated trading strategies, things like this. You got anything else coming? No. Yes, Wayne, you missed 20 minutes. I reckon, if you watch the video, you'll be able to see what's happening. You'll be able to see me answer those questions. What is the advantage of cash over XRP? Well, actually, before I really understood cash properly, cash with a Q, I was a big fan of Ethereum, of Ripple XRP. I really was, and I still am. I come from a financial services background, and forever and ever, Swift has been, the king for transferring money around the world. It's also massively expensive, and it's also really old, dated technology. With MT211, formats and tag delimited formats and stuff like this. It's clunky and it's old. It works, but it's clunky and it's old. And I thought, Ripple's coming along, and it's going to replace this thing, and it's going to be fast, and it's going to be cheap, and it's going to help people all over the world. If you look at, like, for instance, the Philippines, where I lived for 8 years, and I still officially live. I haven't moved full time to Vietnam yet, but I will. In the Philippines, there's a lot of overseas Filipino workers, who work abroad and send their money back to the Philippines. And I'm sure the same thing happens in every Asian country. I just happen to know the number for the Philippines. It's a $24 billion business transferring money in and out of the country, and it shouldn't be. It's that's an obscene amount of money. Obviously it's all added up. But if you think about Western Union or PayPal, or charging these fees, and Swift interbank transfers that take days, charging these exorbitant fees, and some fees are actually based on the amount that you spend. I know with Western Union, the more you send, the more you pay to send it, which is crazy. Ripple, yeah, it's fine. So Ripple addresses, or will address, the Swift issue, the Swift problem for payments, and that's about it, I think. I think with cash, we want to do a lot more. We want to do a lot more interesting things. So I am a fan of Ripple and its premise. I think obviously we wish these guys well, and it's a really good business model, and it addresses a major problem, which I think is wonderful. But I think we want to do a lot more. We just can't do it yet, and so I'm keeping a close eye on Ripple, and I hope it changes. I hope it changes the game for a lot of people and benefits a lot of people, because after all, that's what this thing's all about. Yeah, it's all about a rebirth out of the last financial crisis. It's all about openness and honesty and transparency and speed. And I think a lot of initiatives out there will be able to add a lot of great value, and so they should be supported. I think
you know, Ripple will become as a token, and it's being traded as a currency at lost 5% today, as all the altcoins did. And it's got a way to go before it truly, you know, flourishes. I also believe that parts of Ripple will be burned, or a very, very small amount will be burned. So, you know, we don't believe that you should burn currency unless, you know, why would you? If you have a finite supply of currency, why would you burn it? Yeah, it'll take, you know, 24,000 years you know, to burn all of the Ripple that's out there, and there's a lot more than 1 billion. But we don't think we don't believe that that's a great model. Burning parts of to make it more expensive. Why? If you're doing great things on your own blockchain to the benefit of everybody, then people can see the value in what's happening, and will naturally gravitate towards, you know, the value-added service, right? Concerning the actual launch date, a few members were concerned about the stability. As I mentioned, yeah, it's Murphy's Law, right? Again, I was talking to Mario today, and he sits right next to me, and out here on the floor, where we all sit, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. You know, why did that happen? Why did we have this service provider issue today, of all days? Are we doing things wrong? Not at all. It was just Murphy's Law. You know, the worst possible thing that could happen would be another outage. And as I said earlier on, you know, we have plans to address all of that. Don't forget we're a startup. You know? I mean, a lot of these big companies, a lot of the big banks I've worked with, you know, who are around forever, didn't implement fully redundant, you know, business continuity plans and systems until well into the you know, maturity life cycle. And you can't expect all you know, startup firms to do the same. But we have a plan to do it, and we will do it. And you know, this thing will be fully redundant. We'll operate in not just in one place in the world, but in 2 or maybe even more. And that will help all sorts of things like latency and security, and maybe not such security, but everything being in the cloud will be secure, and stability. Yeah. So if something falls over, something else will naturally just you know, take its place, and we'll continue with the business. So Murphy's Law, I'm afraid it happens. Concern the server might be overloaded? No, not at all. And we addressed this one earlier on. The flow for buying cash is with Ether or Bitcoin. It's very simple, and we can't imagine that it's going to, you know, rock the system too much. We're very confident, and as I say, you know, non-functional testing takes care of this. We're confident that the system is performant and it can handle large volumes and stresses. And you know, we've performed soak testing and all sorts of stuff, but we you know, thousands, millions of transactions to see, until the system breaks, to see what the limits are. And we have no issues, I don't think, with the stability really of the platform itself. The technology is sound, and it's speedy enough to handle any volumes that we get from the ICO. After the ICO, the cash will be distributed to Mu, Mate wallet, or remain in cryptos. Well, as soon as it's out there and it's tradable, then you can move it. Yeah, you can move it any way you want. Don't forget that cryptos, we have a cold storage wallet that we use for to keep things safe. You know, we're the only large exchange, biggest exchange in Asia, we think, that hasn't been hacked, and that's for a reason. You know, a lot of people say, why does it take a day or 2 days, you know, to be authorized to use the system and get through KYC? Because we check. And some things can't be checked by machines. You know, we need a human touch, and we need a 4-eye check, and sometimes a 6-eye check before we allow people in. And the same with, withdrawing money. Then yeah, it takes a while for people to cash things out. I mean, a movement from one wallet to another wallet is reasonably instant. Obviously things can only get better and faster. But yeah, you can take your cash out, put it into any wallet that supports an ERC20 token. Any speculation on price stability after the ICO? Well, I'd like to speculate that it goes up as people, get more and more aware of what we're doing, and hopefully, kick themselves for missing out on the ICO. But no, you can never tell. You can't tell. It's an early stage. Let's see how it goes. And obviously, everyone's got their fingers crossed. People here want this thing to be massively successful, and we all hope it goes up. But you never know. You really never know. It seems many recent larger ICOs have experienced major price corrections after conclusion of the token sale for various reasons. I understand the market is volatile, but has anything been discussed about the possibilities? As I say, we like to plan here. We like to sit down and think about what if scenarios. And one of my jobs as strategy officer is to think about those things. So to answer your question, yes, we have. Do we have all the answers? No. Have we possibly mapped every single scenario? No. You can never do that on your own. You can only think of so much, and people have been busy. So yeah, we're open to ideas, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen if things drop, or we don't really know what's going to be what will happen after Segwit 2x. This is why we're trying to be careful. And yes, we figured, we've sat down and said, what if this happens? What if that happens? What will we do? Because we don't want to be taken off guard. Planning is everything. I learned at an early age, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I'm a big believer in planning, really am. So watch this space. I think we've got it covered. But ideas, concerns, and questions like this are what make it all worthwhile. And that's one of the reasons why we double underline the importance of talking to you to get your questions, because sometimes people will come up with stuff that we've not thought about. If the high-profile businessmen are buying their cash from the crowd pool, will they be also under the same prorated allocation of cash if it's oversubscribed? Well, I don't think, we're having an ICO, which is a public ICO, yeah, and then we're going to have the 250, which Mike said could be over a week or a month or 6 months or even a year or maybe longer, who knows? And we'll be selective about who partners with us and who buys that stuff. And obviously there has to be a demand to match the supply. But I think given the fact that it will be sold over a period of time, then I don't think there'll be any sort of proration. As soon as it's all been bought, then it's up to the market. Yeah. And as I said earlier on, we're not going to be creating any more than 1 billion coins. And obviously, once we distribute the 500 million, we've got the other 500 million that will, sort of drip feed into the ecosystem over the next several years. And so I think we should be good. Let's see. About the credit lending facility, what would be, we're getting a lot of them now. About the credit lending facility, what would be the fee for lending cryptos? What profit margins would lending cash to traders to trade on margin? Don't know. I think this is one for, not probably Mario, but for our chief trading officer, Andre, would probably know about this one. So I'm not too sure about that, but I'll tell you what we'll do. That's a great question. We'll get an answer and we'll put it into a footnote on the digest that we, if we can, the digest that we publish after this AMA is done. How's that? But it's a great question, and I honestly don't know. I'm not going to try and make stuff up. and answer a question I don't know. I just have no idea about that. Sorry, I couldn't answer that. Okay. What is the difference of stating the price of 001 Ether to 1 cash? I'm not sure if it makes sense to state the prices 0008 Ether to a cash. How many cash can I buy with an Ether? Is it 1200 or 1250? At some point, we had to figure out, what we were asking for from this ICO, and I think as Andre said during his, during his AMA, we kind of worked backwards. We said, okay, we need this amount of money to do what we want to do, and so how are we going to raise that, and how many Ether is that we need to raise? And so we kind of pegged the price. So if it goes up or down, it is what it is. Right? We're not going to change the ICO right now and say it's more or less. It is what it is. I mean, it was I don't know, 325 a few days ago, and it's 295 today, or maybe even less now. I haven't looked, I haven't checked. Does this mean we're going to chop and change it? No, it is what it is, and that's the number we came up with, and that's what we're sticking with. Can you summarize the main reason Mike states cash will be the third cryptocurrency by market cap or by circulation? I think. As soon as we have built the cash blockchain and it's successful, and it accommodates, sophisticated products being supported instead of just simple contract, then and as people use it to pay for services, it will naturally grow, and people become accustomed to using this thing as a currency. Yeah, I think the inbuilt 5% discount that we've said we'll give if cash is used to pay for services is a great thing, and will create a natural demand. And of course, the more exchanges we connect with, the more cash will be circulated, the more cash will be used, hopefully. And as Mike said, we don't want people to sit on this and hoard it and hope that it goes up in value. I think the value is that you use it, yeah, and you create more of a demand for it that way. But yeah, it's all about utilization. I think that's the vision, is for cash to be a major cryptocurrency. And as I said earlier on, excuse me, it will evolve into that. It won't happen on day one. It's an ERC20 utility token. It eventually will naturally evolve into becoming a real cryptocurrency. Another reason for Coin to, excuse me, move the headquarters from Singapore to Japan. Was it due to the case that happened, excuse me, April 2017, where the cryptocurrency market sued Coin over Bitcoin trades worth when reportedly reversed? I don't think it was, no. Not at all. And obviously we can't comment on that case. It's still under review. But we believe that we're good. I think the plan to move it was because of the overall, and I hope I'm getting this right, was because of the overall sentiment in Singapore about cryptos, and the fact that, I think the whole idea for CoinEx as a firm and as a company, the genesis of this company was in Japan, and the FSA approval and regulatory approval, and the subsequent approval of cash as a token, as a currency, which we'll get on the day of the ICO, hopefully, just made it natural to move headquarters back there. That's it. No other reason. Do you know of any other reason, Catherine?
Because the Japanese regulators wanted
There you go. So the physical presence, it's like anything else, you know. We opened up an office in the Philippines because we wanted to get regulatory approval, and the government demanded that we had an office there. So I'd imagine as we look to get regulatory approval in other countries, it's natural that we open up offices in those countries as well, I suppose. Do they need to be massive offices or small offices? I don't know. But, you know, moving into other countries, territories, parts of the world, we're thinking about it. Have we made any decisions on what we're going to do, where and when? No, not yet. So thank you, Catherine, for that help. Let's see. The move to Japan for regulatory. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's the last question? I think. And people, I've got a little more time. It's 5 to 9. You know, this hour has gone almost very quickly for me, and I've enjoyed it immensely. I think that just to summarize, you know, I don't know everything there is to know about cash. I don't know everything there is to know about cryptos. We're learning this stuff every day. At least I am. I think the news that we get is great. I think it's a really exciting field to be in. I love it, actually. I mean, I jump out of bed every morning and I can't wait to get to work. It's great. I really do love it. And I can't wait to get my hands on designing and building, or helping to build this blockchain and implementing it as well, and fulfilling the dream that a lot of people have here. I think it's going to be a fantastic journey. And as I said earlier, I hope a lot of you are listening and who watch the video, who think and believe they can contribute and believe in cash as much as I do, and the team does here. You know, think about coming to join us and help, you know, implement this vision. I think it's a wonderful concept. It's not just a concept. It's as I say, we've got a working platform with major engines that have already been built. You know, market making, smart order routing, and cross currency conversion. It's all there, and they're being improved on every day. As people learn more and come up with fresh ideas, obviously we'll refine all of this stuff and we'll add more and we'll make it, you know, a lot more sophisticated and a lot more secure and more performance as well. I think so. I'm looking forward to it greatly. Let me see. Oh, got another one. Will people be able to buy cash in an automated way? At the moment, they need to pay fees. For instance, Coin will go into the markets and buy on behalf of the client. They need to cover their fees, and they will get a 5% discount for choosing to pay in cash. Yeah, I suppose they will. Coin will go into the markets and buy on behalf of the clients. Am I understanding this correctly? They need to cover fees. Yeah, if they choose to pay in cash, they'll get a perpetual 5% discount. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons for cash, I think, evolving into a cryptocurrency. If you're going to use it and you're going to say you're not using it, then would use it in preference to any other type of currency that's out there. I would, if I'm going to get a saving. Oh, another video bomb by Kath. Is she video bombing me? I'm looking at the questions. I'm not looking at my ugly mug on this on the video. Okay, let's see. So yes, that last question, yes. It just makes sense. Cash is there. If there's an incentive to use it, and there is, then why not use it? Why would you want to not save money? It makes no sense to me. So yeah, absolutely. Pay for everything in cash with a Q. Okay. Well, if I didn't answer things well, I apologize. If I ramble too much, equally apologize. But I've enjoyed this. I think hopefully my next one will be better. Who knows? But keep your questions coming in. We do read them all, and we do carefully consider them all. And I went through every single question that Tammy had sent to me earlier on, one at a time, and you guys were patient while I was doing that. And I think I answered all of the questions if they didn't scroll out the way too quickly here. If there are any more questions, send them to Telegram, send them to me directly, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. And if I don't know the answers to the questions, I'll get the answers for you. Okay. So I think with that, I think we're done. Maybe one more. Currently, the affiliate 5% only applicable for ICO. How about the trading by the affiliate, such as the QUOINE affiliate code? I don't really understand what that means.
I think talking about the affiliate programs that's running on QUOINE for the cash ICO, so that's going to be on. We're thinking on until like.
Oh, December.
December 1st.
Okay, this was another thing. Mike said he was going to. Oh, I see. I understand the question now. So the referral fees, yeah. So when you use your affiliate code to refer other members and other people come in, yeah, you can continue to do that. We'll continue to give bounties because we want to, continue. Even though after the ICO is over, we want this. We want this thing to be talked about. We want to build a massive community that cares and that contributes. So absolutely, it's going to continue. Mike said it will continue until December the 1st and maybe afterwards. If you read the white paper, we do have a cap on the number of cash tokens that we give out for the bounty. So it will be until that date or beyond as we decide, or until we hit the limits of the cap of the bounty cap, if you like, which I believe is about 25 million tokens. And we looked, and there's plenty left. Don't worry. Yeah.
That's 25 based on 500. So.
25 based on 500, so it's actually 12 and a half. Yeah. So it's half. Yeah.
So the other question was on the 25% revenue share for QUOINE. I believe that's live, but we haven't really marketed it all out. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's it, folks. I think my hour is up. It's 1 minute past 9 from Ho Chi Minh. So I will bid you all good night. As I said, I enjoyed this. I hope you guys got value out of it, and I wasn't too yappy. I didn't go on too long. As I say, anything else, feel free to ask. Send it to me directly or onto the Telegram channel. Put the AMA hashtag on there, and the team will pull those out, and we'll endeavor to answer your questions. If it's not me, it will be somebody else, but feel free to send them to the team. I think the next AMA is, we don't know. Mike did say he wanted to do one before go live, but tomorrow's Friday and everyone goes out Friday night, and then we got the weekend. Just the people really want to watch AMAs over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. So I'll ask you right now, is there a demand for another AMA? Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday prior to the ICO on Monday? If there is, please vote and send your votes via Telegram or whatever. Hashtag we want Mike. Yeah, I just made that. I just made that up. Hashtag we want Mike. If you want him to do one more AMA before the ICO begins, midnight time, Singapore, Sunday evening, right? Okay. And we got a little applause at the background. Okay, thanks, folks. We'll wrap this up. Thanks for watching, and hope to get more questions from you soon. Thank you very much indeed. Take care.